So today we're going to show you how to build out a page using Website V2. So you can see here on our homepage of this race, we've already built out a nice homepage using Website V2. We've added some custom content, some custom images, so on and so forth. And you can see how we customize this homepage in a previous video that we've uploaded. So just taking a look at our website, you can see under the race day info menu tab, we have this parking page. And right now this page is totally empty. And today we're going to walk through how to build this parking page out using our Website V2. So the first thing you'll want to do is head to your race dashboard or event dashboard. And we're going to select race, Website V2, website builder. And we already have this page created called parking. And right now, no information is there. And so the first thing we got to start doing is adding content. And so the way to add content is adding what we call sections. Now, when you select the Add a New Section button, you're going to be presented with two options, a single column section or a two column section. So the difference between a single column and a two column section is pretty straightforward. Here in this example, the fun facts about Berlin is a single column section, whereas the section right below with the image on the left and the text on the right, that's a two column section. And this is what it looks like on the front end facing website page. So here you can see we have our two column section right here. If you scroll down, we've got a single column section which has a image slideshow. So going back to our example now, we're going to build a little parking FAQ page here. So let's add a single column section first. And what we'll do is we will add a new component and we'll add just a text component. And here we'll add some text and we'll call it parking information. We'll go ahead and change the heading. We'll center it, maybe bold it. Now, the reason why we use the text field component instead of using the optional title for the content section is because the text field component we're allowed to center the text, which makes it a little nicer to look at. Whereas with the title, it's only left justified, so you wouldn't be able to center the title. Something like this here, this run more, save more, that's the title of the section, and you can see it's only on the left-hand side, and we weren't able to center it. Now going back to our example, we've got our text field set up. Let's add a new section, but let's make it a two column section now. So here, this is where it kind of differs here. So we're able to add content on both the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So if we click on the plus button to add a new component on the left-hand section, we have all these options that we can choose from. So you can add text field, a button, an image, a link to a YouTube video, countdown, Spotify playlist, so on and so forth. In our specific example, we're just going to add an image to start this off. And we'll go ahead and choose an image and we'll upload the image to the website. We'll go ahead and center the image. And we'll go ahead and select Done Editing. And once it loads the image, we'll select Upload the image to the website. Perfect. So now we have our image on the left-hand side of this section. And now we're going to add some parking information content for our runners. So we'll go ahead and add a component. And let's add a text component here. And this is where you can add specific parking information that you want to share. In our case, we've enlisted the help of ChatGPT to just give us some generic parking information that we're going to just copy and paste into here. Obviously, in your situation, you'll probably want to have some specific information that's geared more to your event. So once we've got the text in there, we'll go ahead and save our work. And let's just take a look at our page by selecting the View page, just so you can see sort of what we've done and what it looks like. So we have our image to the left here, and then all of our parking information is on the right-hand side of this one particular section. So if we take a look at our page here, you can see that the text section is quite long and our image is sort of off-centered or just looks a little funky next to all of the text that we have. So a couple options you can do to sort of fill out the white space. The first option would just be to add additional images underneath the original image. So on the left-hand section, you can select the plus button to add another component, and we'll add another image component to go underneath the original image. We'll go through the same process of uploading the image. And we'll do this again for a third image just to kind of demonstrate a little bit. Now that we've added 3 images on the left-hand side of this particular section, if we view our page now, you'll see the white space is a little bit cleaned up and it doesn't look as off-kiltered as it did previously. Now the other option, instead of adding 3 separate images, would be to add essentially a background image onto the entire left-hand side of the section. So now we're going to delete all the images we've just uploaded. And on the left-hand side section, if you select the gear icon, what we'll do is we'll add a background image for that section. So we'll select image under background options. We'll click to add an image, and then we'll upload an image that we want to choose. And since our text is quite vertical, we've chosen a vertical image just to upload as the background so it'll look a little bit cleaner. So similarly, we'll update and upload the image onto our website, and we'll select apply settings. So now if we save this and view our page, you can see that we have a nice image essentially matching the length of the text section that we have on the right hand side. Additional thing that you can do to customize this a little bit more is if we go back to the gear icon, we can add some rounded corners to make it a little more modern. We can also add some overlay colors on top of the image if that's sort of the look that you're going for. So you can see we've rounded the corners on this image and we've added a little bit of gradient over so the image is not necessarily right in your face. And another thing that you can do when customizing sections is determining the width of these sections that you're adding. So by default, we have it set to essentially a restricted width. So if we look at our page right now, you'll see that the width of these 2 sections leaves a bit of white space on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. If for whatever reason you want to extend the width of each section so that it encompasses the entire page, you can most certainly do so. So under the gear icon for the entire section, which is going to be the top gear icon, you can change the layout options from restricted width to full width. We'll apply the settings, save that. And now when we view our page, you can see that all of the content for these 2 sections is extending all the way to the left and all the way to the right of the page, versus seeing sort of what we're seeing here that has a little bit of white space on the left and the right-hand side. What's neat about this is you can customize it so that as you add additional sections, you can have some sections that are full width and some sections that are restricted width. So in this example here, these 2 columns are full width. But if you continue scrolling up or down, you can see these columns are restricted width. So as you build your pages out, you can always add additional sections to each page. So in our example here, if we needed to add additional information, or if you wanted to add, maybe you have a YouTube video that is walking through what the parking situation looks like, you can certainly add a new section that links to a YouTube video. And as you're building pages out, obviously some components are going to be more useful than others depending on the page you're creating. For example, in our parking page example, you most likely will not add a charity leaderboard component, and you probably will not be adding your event tile component. But you might be adding an image slideshow component and potentially a map location or a race location component so that they know exactly where the parking spots or the parking garages is going to be. So as you're building out your race website using V2, definitely take a look at all the components that's available and definitely play around with it. We've seen a lot of races be super creative in how they're using website V2, and it really is designed to be as customizable as you really want to make it. So we definitely recommend taking a look at it and spending a little bit of time to sort of make your website looking as best as you can. As you can see, in just a couple of minutes, we've already built out a really nice looking page about parking. We've added a contact form component onto this page, and we've centered it in case people have any questions about parking. Yeah, it's just really simple to use, and you can really do a lot in just a couple of minutes.